So take a deep breath, podcasters, pod squad, people who listen to the Warrior Parent podcast, because we're diving into some big topics today. And this one is actually going to be a two-parter because it's a deep subject, and the subject is cancer and illness and how we're dealing with it. So trigger warning, we're going to talk about some hard stuff, but also especially if you have a diagnosis, if you know someone who has a diagnosis, I think this will be maybe a really helpful episode for you. And I'm so grateful for my good friend and podcast partner, Debbie, for being vulnerable, bringing a very personal story in. I think it's going to help people. I know it's going to help people.
Yeah, this was a tough one. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off, honestly. But the fact is, I have a cancer diagnosis, and I technically am in survivorship, what they tell me, because I have cancer and I'm alive. So I don't plan to go anywhere else. But meanwhile, it was a sucker punch. It was an eye opener. And there's a lot of emotions wrapped around cancer, depending on where you're seeing cancer from, right? And so this time it was in my own shoes, and it's a tough one, but I'm going to get through it, and we'll probably come back from time to time and see how I'm doing as I progress through my treatment and keep you posted. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Stay tuned.
The world is a lot right now. Are you feeling it? We all need new tools to help us walk through the chaos with grace, ease, and compassion for each other and for ourselves. In this podcast, you'll hear from parents, educators, and other experts who can bring perspective to the monumental job of parenting. It's time to level up and be warriors for our kids and our communities. This is the Warrior Parent Podcast. I'm Marci Mitchell.
And I'm Debbie DiManno. As parents, we understand that it really does take a village to raise our kids. We hope that this podcast serves to create and support that community for you. Join us as we discuss and practice our core tools, which are proven mind-body techniques that can be used by anyone to improve your life on a daily basis.
Welcome back to the Warrior Parent Podcast. As always, we're grateful that you're joining us. We hope that we're bringing you good content that informs and helps you to become more of your best self, to transform, to, I like to say, up spiral your life, and also just sometimes so you know you're not alone. And so today's kind of a special episode is just going to be Debbie and I talking, and we're talking about kind of a big topic, and that is cancer, the big C. And it's something that Debbie has spent a lot of her professional life in, and it's also a personal topic. So without further ado, I will do a warning, a trigger warning, that I'm sure there's going to be some challenging topics, especially for people who have had personal experience with this, but we will treat it very with information, with solid information, but also with an open heart, and hopefully give you some skills and some tricks and some tools, as always, that you can use to help you if this is your journey right now. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my amazing partner, Debbie.
Okay. Yes. So Marci and I have decided, first and foremost, to let you know that we have decided to title this Fuck Cancer. Yes, you heard it. Fuck Cancer. And as most of you know, I have been in the medical space for more than 30 years and have worked in all kinds of spaces, from cardiology to dermatology, oncology, and everything in between. So I consider myself a quote unquote expert in the field of oncology. So a couple of weeks ago, no, it's been a month ago now, I had done my usual mammogram, which I do every year. And they had called me back for a biopsy. I was in the middle of a move and kind of put it off and thought, yeah. I've had these 2 or 3 times now, and they always come back negative. I have this what called dense breasts. So I went in and had it in a couple of days. My doctor called me at 7:00 a.m. on a Friday,
Never a
And
good sign.
never a good sign. And by the way, this physician and I have been together for almost 30 years, and she had breast cancer herself. So she calls and said, Debbie, I'm so sorry, but you have breast cancer. And I just went into pure shock, like pure shock. Like I normally, I would have all these questions and I just couldn't even come up with a question. I was in such shock. But she told me, the specific cancer that I have, which is ductal carcinoma in situ, um, but it's invasive breast cancer, stage 1. So the good news is we caught it early, but it is invasive. So the treatment that you have is similar to that with several other cancers. So anyway, it has been it has been a roller coaster.
Hmm.
And of course, my good friend Marci was one of the first people I called, and she was right there and ready to offer, whatever assistance she could. I think what I said to her is, I'm angry. I'm just fucking angry. I'm
Yeah.
mad
Yeah.
because I have spent my whole life working so hard, like being impeccable. And Marcy knows this about me, being impeccable with my health,
Hmm.
with my sleep, with my food, every fucking label I read, the laundry detergent, the soap I use on my hands, the soap I use in my hair, like everything, every label I check and I go through. And interestingly enough, I feel like, of course, I was always doing it to take care of my family and, you know,
Yeah.
thus I was able to take care of it myself too, or take care of myself in that process of taking care of everyone else. But this time
Hmm.
it was about me. And that's exactly what Marcy said, right? Because as we're having the conversation, the first thing that came up was, oh my God, what about my kids? And what about my husband?
Hmm.
And right.
Yeah.
And Marcy cut me off pretty quickly and said, no, this is this is your time. This is your
Yeah.
time to just only take care of yourself. I
Yeah.
think that's nearly impossible for a woman. Let's just be straight up about
Yeah.
that. But anyway, the anger is still there. I'm still just fucking mad. I
Yeah.
feel I I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed by the universe. I live my life universally and I live it intentionally. And so all the while knowing that I'm working so hard to take care of this human suit that I have because
Hmm.
I know what it's been through. I know the trauma. I know the generational
Right.
trauma my all the women in my family have been through, and I've worked so hard to make sure that
Yeah.
I'm healing that. So for this to show up in the process of all of that, I have no idea why,
Yeah.
but it has been difficult. And
Yeah.
it's interesting the perspectives because what they say is when you get this cancer call, everything stops.
Mhm.
And of course, I've heard this for years, being on the other side of the fence or being on the ultrasound side or being in the lab side or
Right.
being whatever, everyone will tell you that same story. Then time just
Yeah.
stood still, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it's still kind of still. It still feels kind of yucky and uncertain and
Yeah.
um, just can't really get rid of that underlying feeling of anger and betrayal.
It makes me think that when you talk about that, about time stopping, and tell me if, this is my interpretation of what you're saying, and as I'm trying to think about what this might be like, but that, our lives are so filled with all kinds of stuff, right? And so much of it, and if we get honest, if we get really intentional and aware, is superfluous, right? It's
Yeah.
what am I going to wear for this? What about that
Yeah.
appointment? These little things that in the big picture, like in the big picture of what is my life about, they're not relevant. But they're very relevant in a day to day. Yeah, I do need to get milk or else there's no breakfast cereal or
Right.
whatever. All these little things. But when you get this diagnosis, I feel like all that other stuff is probably just like gone. Like, and all of a sudden, like you have this super awareness about, first of all, your own mortality, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then also what this giant thing that you're facing. And like, it's almost like shaking the etch a sketch, right? All the little
Yeah.
details are going to go away. And now it's going to be hyper focused on this one thing, which is intentional, I think, for the universe. Like this is where your focus needs to go. And
Yeah.
again, like Debbie was saying, and I did call her out because she was, talking about how's my daughter gonna deal with this? She's got so much on her plate, and how my husband, he's so busy. And so, you know, how am I gonna, like, how do I deal with this? How do I get to fill, we talk about filling your cup. And I know I'm thinking about Mari, who we had on a few episodes ago, who said we don't just fill our cup so we can serve others. We fill our cup because we deserve a full cup. And
Yeah.
so some of that is that I think is coming like, okay, Debbie DiManno, you need to take care of yourself right now. And not just like you are someone who's so mindful about how you care for yourself, but now you're going to care for yourself, not so that you can take care of your kids and your husband and the house and all these other decisions, but because you deserve to take care of yourself. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that's one piece of it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that when you're talking, I just want to say, so some of this anger and this betrayal, because you have done everything right. You're so informed on this. Like when I have questions about health or food, or like I go to Debbie, I'm like, I'm the one who'll be like, I'll still look at the label, but I might just be like, what do I eat? I gotta hand it to Debbie and say, is this good or bad? Or just tell me, what should I do? Should I take the hormone? Should I not take the hormone? Should I do
Yeah.
that? Because
Yeah.
she's got the brain and she's thinking it through and she has all the knowledge. But no matter what, whether you're a Debbie who's done all this work and who's very informed and doing all the right stuff, or you're someone more like me who's just doing my best and maybe taking care of things and maybe making choices that aren't good and some that are, or whatever. Like, I hope that we can not feel any guilt, like not like I hope that we're able to, when you get that diagnosis, you're able to not be like, oh, if only I had done this or I did
Yeah.
that. Like some of it is just, it's just like, it's either there's like, I could say two things. I could say it's just the dealing of the cards, right?
Yeah.
But also, and on a bigger level, on a spiritual level, I do believe that things come to us for purpose, for our own evolution. And that in no way means you deserve this, or
Right.
you should, but it does. If sometimes, if we can open ourselves to a bigger, like there could be something bigger that a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm going to come out and be like, oh, that's why I went through that. Look what I learned, or look how I leveled up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how, if that's easy, if that's hard to see now, or how that hits as
Yeah.
someone who's walking through this right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. That doesn't hit very well because I'm
That
in
was
it
my
right now.
fear.
Because I'm
Yeah.
in it right now.
Yeah.
And unless you're walking in someone's shoes,
Yes.
you can't know because everyone is going to go through this differently, right?
Right.
And so
For
for
sure.
me right now, what's so weird is like I can, like, of course, I'm sitting in waiting rooms for doctor's appointment. Like I have
Mm.
probably been to 20 doctor's appointments. All the testing, all this genetic, like all of it. 20 appointments in the last 30 days. And I've been out of the country for 2 weeks of that. So like I have
It's
squeezed
like two
all,
weeks, yes,
yes,
of appointments.
yes.
Squeezed it. That's
But
crazy.
but I'll be sitting in a room with a bunch of people and look around and see how many women are in the room. And the statistics are that 1 in 8 women in that room will have breast cancer in their lifetime. One
Mm.
in eight. So I'm looking at a room. There's 16 of us. That means two of us sitting there have breast cancer, right? If
Yep.
I'm right. So it's I said this to my doctor because she knows for years, like all the things that I've done, the things I will do, the things I won't do. And she just said, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And then I went to
Yeah.
another nurse practitioner who was probably younger than I, and she said, um, I'm just waiting for the phone call.
Hey, we just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about something very exciting that Debbie and I and our team have been working on for literally years. And that is our Core Tools app, which is now available at the Google Play Store and at the Apple Store. And you can sign up for it now, and you will get access to all the tools we've been talking about on the podcast.
And if you're an early adopter of Core Tools, you can get a VIP price for $49 for a lifetime. That's
Lifetime.
right.
Buy it once, and we'll keep
Lifetime.
updating it too.
Yes, yes. So we're super excited about this. Go to Apple Store, go to Google Play, and purchase it now.
Core Tools, COUR, capital TOOLS.
Go get it. So when the doctor called, she's seen me for, more than 30 years of my life. She's the one that gave me the hormones and, helped me. She's really been an advocate of mine. The things I will do and the things I won't do around my health. And she knows that my first act is always to do something healthy without taking medicine. Like, let me just work on this. Let me just focus on this.
Right.
Let me treat for this. Like, this is how I do it now. And so when she called, she was shocked that I had the diagnosis. But she said, Debbie, you're 62 years old. You're a woman, and it's 1 in 8. It's just 1 in 8. That's just this. That's. And I think to myself, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here? How does 1 in 8 women have breast cancer? And the statistics for prostate cancer in men is even higher than that in their lifetime. It's like 1 in 4, 1 in 5, something like that. So what is going on? Right? So what is going on? Right? So, that other part of me that I'm such an advocate for is our food, right? And the epigenetics. So we've talked about epigenetics on several occasions throughout our podcasting lifetime, right? So it's the things outside of our genes that are causing the gene expression to be turned on or off, right? So part of the process for this, what I did is I had my genetics tested, all of it, all of it. And my family is full of colon cancer. So I have colon cancer screening, endoscopy, gastroenterology every 5 years. And so I thought at least that would show up. I did not have one genetic marker for cancer. Not one. Not even that one. Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can imagine how angry I am. So good news is my kids do not have any genetic markers for this, and so how happy am I to be able to tell them that?
Yes.
But therein lies the anger because I know I am not genetically predisposed to have any cancer, and then to on top of that know what the environment does to the human body, right? Now
Yeah.
you know I'm mad. I'm
Yeah.
mad, right? That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense at all.
Because yeah, so in a way, that's a chain that you've broken because it was in your family, and now you were kind of like, and this is so classic Debbie. This stops with me, just like the
Yeah.
trauma. I don't pass it down. And so well done you. Like you did manage to turn that off, and yet it's here still. It's still here, even
Yes.
though you managed to turn that off for your genes, and then you've done all the right stuff from what you eat and your exercise and what you put in your body and what you put next to your body. Like how many of us are thinking about the lotions and the things we're cleaning our clothes with? It's funny because it's just an aside. I get hand-me-downs from Debbie on a regular basis, and I love hand-me-downs. And one of the things I always say to her, and I always notice is, man, your clothes smell so good. What are you using? So whatever she's using, it smells great and good for her. And yet, like it's a statement. You can do everything right, and there are some experiences that the universe is going to bring you. And then here's the other piece of that. You still gets to be fucking pissed off. You get to have the reaction. Like I know Debbie as a very evolved, centered, spiritual person who doesn't just go flying off. And I'm going to give you every bit of grace for how you respond to this, because this is a gut punch for anyone, and
Right.
especially for you. And you get to have all your reactions, and you get to walk through this, and you get to fall apart if you need to fall apart. You get to fall apart, then get back up and start going, and then fall apart again, and do that as many times as you need. Like all of this for Debbie and for anyone else who's listening who has any kind of a diagnosis like this, just give yourself so much grace, because
Yeah.
this is hard shit, and you can do it, but you don't have to do it perfectly. You get to do it how you do it. Listen to your body, allow yourself to break down, to reach out. Second piece of that is say yes to the offers of help, the ones
Mhm.
that that feel like they're helpful. It doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything, because some things aren't going to be helpful, but allow
Yeah.
yourself to be the one who receives when people want to give to you somehow, or even the one who asks and says, "Hey, I've been doing this all the time, and I know I usually carry this, but I need help with this." Whether it's
Yeah.
husband, friend, whatever, whoever is in your community,
Yeah.
ask for help, receive help, and allow yourself to have all of those feelings and as much time as you need, because there's no like, okay, you get 30 days to deal with this, and then you need to be pretty much over this and moving forward. No, none of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No. And that's what it feels like, because
Yeah.
I am just, a getter done. Like, let's just check this
Yes.
box. Like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. It's
Yep.
funny because my daughter, who I was kind of worried about because she's just a sensitive soul, she'd be
Yeah.
like, Mom, like, no big deal. Like, if anybody can fight
No.
fucking cancer, it's you.
So true.
And so she has not given one iota, not one weak link, not one
No.
anything to and my son, who I was kind of expecting to, like, oh, it's mom, like she'll get through it, was
Yeah.
was struggling a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so what's fascinating is people's reactions in all
Yeah.
of this, right?
Yeah.
Some people are like, "Oh my God," like not Debbie DiManno, because she's always quote unquote got it together, or so I
Yeah.
that's the facade I carry around, right? So and part of that is interesting, is just as interesting, right? So that's what
Yeah.
that's what I get to learn. Although I have gone through something very big like this in my life previously, and I felt
Yeah.
like I did learn these lessons. This is not
Right.
something new to me. This is just, I mean,
Yes.
it came out of the blue, but there's a lot of other things that health-wise I've had to go through already. So,
Yeah. And
um,
and the one of the things I want to say about that is that, the people who have done all this work, and you've made these great gains, and these leveling ups, it can be hard to I mean, it's hard for anyone to get their ass kicked, right? To get knocked flat
yeah,
on the ground, face first in the arena. But it
yeah,
can be really hard when you're coming from higher, in the sense of you've done that work, you've been there, and then you get
yes,
knocked down again. Like that is like,
yes,
what the fuck? Like I already did this. I did all, like, here I am again.
yes,
And so there is some of that where you have to take that breath and be like, again, as many times as you need. Take one breath and
yeah,
get up, or take 20,000 breaths and then get up.
yeah,
Whatever you need to do. But boy, it can be, I feel like that's part of probably the anger and the
yeah,
frustration, is
yeah,
that you kind of like, it's like people say, been there, done that. Like you've done this work, and yet we're back to it again. And I think people who are paying attention to their own evolution will find this over and over again, and you'll be like, oh, I worked through that. I learned that lesson. Now I'm going to move on to the next one. And maybe you are, and then maybe this one's going to come back again. And that's life. That's like, but like these things keep coming back. But one thing that I hope we start to feel is that we do level up farther. So the thing that
mhm,
absolutely knocked you on your ass before, maybe you're going to be up faster next time, or whatever it is. But just know that you're building you're building resilience, you're building strength, you're building a wider um a wider, more awake and aware view of things, so that like
Mm.
maybe the first time something like this can happen to you, you see this much of it, but then the second time you're seeing more. You are building, and yet it still can feel like absolute shit in the moment. And that is like, you get to feel that,
Yeah.
you get to experience that and walk through that. Get to makes it
Yeah.
sound like it's a fun thing, but like my point is like, give yourself so much grace for anyone, like I say, who's going through this.
Yeah.
um
And
because
you
yeah.
know, and then, meanwhile, like talk about giving grace. Like, I walk in there, I gotta, and like I used to walk into oncology. I had my business suit on. I'm in there selling
Yeah.
something, right? And
Yeah.
now I'm walking in as a patient. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, I'm walking in and I still have all my hair and, I'm
Mm,
early to this. And then you see that these people in the waiting room who have been at this for
mm,
years, right? And,
yeah.
the wigs and the eyelashes and the,
Yeah.
um, you know, uh, you know, three people trying just to get them to the doctor's appointment still. I mean, it's brutal to watch, but
Yeah.
it is humbling, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's humbling to be able to help people while I'm sitting in the waiting room, helping someone get in and out of the elevator, help someone,
Yeah.
um, you know, walk into their appointment because nobody's there. Little
Mm,
kids like sleeping in the chairs in a waiting room.
mm.
Like it's a lot, and it
It
part of it
is.
is like, okay, did I need some more humility in my life, right? Like I don't know. I mean, because we do take so much for granted. The
Yeah.
breath, the
Yeah.
breath that we're
Yeah.
taking, we take that for granted, and I've
Right.
told you this practice I have every day and still do is I sit up on the side of the bed, I put one foot down and say thank, and the other foot down and I say you, and I still do that every day. So,
Yeah.
but could there be more humility? I imagine so. Like we take
Mm,
a lot for granted. I mean, I
yeah.
get to go and travel around the world and have healthy kids and right. Am I as grateful as I need to be for all those things? I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find the lesson in all
Right.
of that.
Right.
All right.
And you talk about humility, it also makes me think of humanity, like the oneness of all of us. So when you're in that room with someone who's been in that a while, and you know it doesn't have to be like, oh, that's where I'm headed or anything like that, but it can be like, oh, that's my sister, that's my brother in life, in humanity. Like I am one with this person. And also the people who are helping them. Like when we, again, it's like back to that, when time slows, when we slow, when we're dealing with something that's so fundamental, so pivotal to our lives as a cancer diagnosis, it lets some of the nonsense or the details of life fall away, so that we are focused on what matters. And one of the things that is what matters, that's the truth of us, is that we are all connected, all human beings. We are all one with each other. And so to give us these moments of compassion where we can look at someone who's struggling, whether it be the person with the cancer or the child who's asleep and their mom is sick or their dad is sick or whoever, like that oneness. And then, like you say, to be able to, let me hold the door for you, let me carry that for you, because you're my sister, you're my brother, you're my sibling, you're me, and I'm you. We're one.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, maybe that's something that's beautiful that can come out of a shitty, hard situation.
Yeah.
Hey, Warrior Parent Podcast fans, these last two episodes that we're doing are about cancer. Debbie's getting very vulnerable and sharing something, and it makes us really think that we'd love to hear from you. What are your experiences? Are you going through this right now? Has someone that you love gone through it, or is someone you love going through it? Or, what are your thoughts around these big medical diagnoses and all the things that go with it? Particularly for most of us, a lot of our listeners, I believe, are moms and women, but anyone, what are your feelings about it? What is it bringing up? What are things that surprised you? What we would love is if you would email us, and you can email us at my email, which is Marci, Marci, at Cour Experience, and Cour is COUR. It's the French word for heart. So courexperience.org. Send us an email. We'd love to just have your input, share it on the show, and then maybe even have a further chance to reach out to you and maybe get your thoughts recorded. If you would be willing to participate, we'd be really love to hear that.
And if you just appreciated Marci's spiritual mind treatment and you might want something like that for yourself in your healing journey, Marci is the master, and she'd be happy to help you with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I really do love doing that with and for people. I've had training to do that. I have a certification as a New Thought practitioner. And if that's something that I could make for you, create for you, send to you either in writing or recording, man, I'd love to do that. So yeah, reach out. We want to hear from you. So again, Marci at courexperience.org. Reach out and let us know what you're thinking about this topic or any topic, or even if you have ideas for something you'd like us to talk about. We want to hear from you.
And now for your core mental health break. This is your opportunity to take a moment to support your mental wellness, your peace of mind, your own ease and grace. Take some time every day to support your mental health. You deserve it, and it matters.
Today's journaling prompt is, what I love about myself is. So get out your journal, get out a piece of paper, use your phone, and write those words. What I love about myself is, and then start writing, folks. Don't be modest. This is just for you. This is for you to acknowledge and feel gratitude for the things that you like about yourself. Start where you can, and I encourage you to keep adding and adding. Enjoy your journaling.
Thanks for listening to the Warrior Parent Podcast, which is a production of our nonprofit, Cour Experience, who also creates and distributes Cour tools. You can find us at courexperience.org. Make sure you join us next week for another informative conversation to help you and your family show up mindfully, purposefully, and joyfully with each other and in your community.
Our Cour Tools platform consists of a number of proven tools and techniques that are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in spite of what's going on in your world. We want to thank Samuel Hale, LLC, for sponsoring this podcast. Technical and marketing support comes from Inspire Your Brand. Our podcast editor is Justin Beeden. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, the producers, or the financial supporters. I'm Debbie DiManno.
And I'm Marci Mitchell. Thanks for listening. If you resonate with the idea of creating a community to help support kids and families, won't you join us by following the podcast and sharing this episode? You can even write a review. It truly does take a village, and we appreciate you.